A few minutes ago, the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation finally reported on the situation around the settlement of Lyubimovka in the Kursk region. So, the Russian military department officially stated that as of September 18, 2024, Russian troops continue to conduct military operations in the western part of Lyubimovka, gradually squeezing out the Ukrainian army units from this village. Thus, the Russian Defense Ministry confirmed the words of war correspondents, who have previously stated that the Russian army still managed to break through the defense of the armed forces of Ukraine and enter the western part of the settlement of Lyubimovka. In addition, the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation also reported on the ongoing fighting in the area of Olgovka and Kremyannoy. In the southeastern part of the Kursk region, after the liberation of the village of Borki, Russian troops continued their offensive toward the settlements of Sudza. However, it is worth noting that this offensive is very slow, since the Ukrainian High Military Command has concentrated quite large Ukrainian forces in the Sudza direction of the front. It is assumed that after the Ukrainian armed forces lose the village of Lyubimovka, it is the settlement of Sudza that will become the main fortified area, upon which the Ukrainian army will build its defense in the Kursk region. Overall, it is worth noting that as of September 18, 2024, the offensive of the Russian army in the Kursk region has slowed down. In many ways, this became possible thanks to the Ukrainian army units that continue to arrive in the Kursk region from other directions of the front. In particular, in the last 48 hours alone, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, General Zelensky, transferred about 3 Ukrainian army units to the Kursk region from the Kharkiv direction of the front. All this has already negatively impacted the defense of Ukraine's armed forces in the Kharkiv region. As it turned out, Russian troops had already begun to take advantage of shifting part of forces of the Ukrainian army to the Kursk region. According to war correspondents, over the past 24 hours, Russian troops have made significant progress in the Kharkiv direction of the front. In particular, the Russian army managed to come close to the strategically important settlement of Krylyukovka, to the southeast of the city of Kupiansk. During an interview with journalists of the Yana news agency, an authoritative military expert Gennady Alekin bluntly stated that Kiev's military operation in the Kursk region marked the beginning of the end of the Ukrainian army. According to him, in 40 days of fighting, the Ukrainian army lost 13,000 soldiers and several hundred pieces of heavy equipment in the Kursk region. All this led to the fact that the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, General Zelensky, still continues to send the Ukrainian army units to the Kursk region from other directions of the front, as a result of which Russian troops managed to break through the defense of the armed forces of Ukraine not only in the Donbass, but also in the Kharkiv direction of the front. Military expert Gennady Alekin noted that General Zelensky is forced to compensate for the Ukrainian army's heavy losses in manpower also with the help of prisoners from Ukrainian jails. It is reported that these are mostly mass murderers, robbers, and even rapists. General Zelensky is forced to send these prisoners to the Kharkiv region and the Pokrovsk direction of the front, in order to somehow close a gap in the defense of the Ukrainian army, due to the ongoing military operation in the Kursk region. However, unfortunately for the Ukrainian High Military Command, the battalion under the designation Shkval, consisting of mass murderers, robbers, and rapists, instead of fighting against Russian troops, began to engage in looting and pillaging. In the last 20 days alone, these convicts have robbed about 30 houses of Ukrainian citizens. In addition, it is reported that these convicts also sell drugs and arrange bloody showdowns among themselves. Against the backdrop of all this horror, American journalists from the newspaper Politico declared that the former commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Ukraine, General Valery Zelensky, foresaw all this, and therefore was categorically against the Ukrainian army's invasion of the Kursk region. Citing their own sources in the Pentagon, American journalists said that Zelensky wanted to invade the Kursk region back in 2023. However, General Zelensky categorically refused to comply with Zelensky's order, calling the military operation in the Kursk region suicide. It is reported that this is why Zelensky fired General Zelensky, appointing General Sersky in his place, who unconditionally executes any order of the Kiev authorities. By the way, Zelensky also dismissed 12 commanders of the Ukrainian Army brigades, who also opposed the military operation in the Kursk region, calling this military adventure a real madness that would lead to the destruction of the entire Ukrainian army. And now, seeing what is happening in the Kursk region and other directions of the front, it becomes clear that General Zelensky was right. The military adventure of the Kiev regime in the Kursk region became the real suicide of the Ukrainian army. Meanwhile, Deputy Chairman of the Russian Security Council Dmitry Medvedev made an official announcement, which has already caused alarm not only in Kiev, but also in the capitals of many Western countries. In particular, Dmitry Medvedev said that thanks to the support and approval from Western officials, the Kiev authorities have felt complete impunity and continue to commit war crimes against Russia and its citizens. Why are only terrorist attacks on places with a massive crowd of people like beaches and markets full of children and women, as well as numerous attacks on civilian infrastructure, including hospitals and kindergartens of Russian border towns and villages? Dmitry Medvedev said that Russia will never forget these crimes against its citizens, as well as the calls of many Western leaders and officials to commit these crimes. Against this backdrop, Deputy Chairman of the Russian Security Council Dmitry Medvedev officially stated that the Ukrainian authorities and their Western curators should not feel safe, wherever they are. According to him, these crimes have no statute of limitations, and sooner or later Moscow will find and punish all those who are involved in terrorist attacks on the Russian Federation and its citizens. I appeal to all militants, terrorists, and their Western patrons and accomplices. You will not be able to escape from Russian retaliation, even if you change your citizenship and change your appearance. Sooner or later, you will all be found and punished, Dmitry Medvedev said.